Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, in my third stream of today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin and whether or not it could hold its ground from this barrage of bad news, right? There seems to be endless bad news. But, can Bitcoin get through it? Can it see the light at the end of the tunnel and continue forward? Well, let's discuss that today. So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel, 2 or 3 streams a day. Make sure you hit that notification bell and follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome. Ooh, it's been tiring. I did stream this morning like I, said I would. Did a morning opening or market opening stream. I was a little bit late because I was still trying to prepare for it, but it's not my usual time. But I think it went well. Most people enjoyed it, so I think I'll continue doing so. Like tomorrow, Friday, I'll do one in the morning, and then one my usual time, and then nothing at night. And obviously, I won't have to do that on the weekend, but I'll continue forward with it. It seems like people enjoy it. It gives you a very first glance of what's going on with the market, right? And mixing between equities and crypto, obviously. So hopefully you guys caught that. But anyways, all right, let's get down to business. So Bitcoin is at 36.7, and it's pretty much flat. Now, the fact that it's flat actually right now is actually a pretty surprising thing. It's actually a good thing. And here's why. Because the overall equities market is not doing good. And it's not doing good because of one man, this man right here, who's probably feeling the weight of the earth on his shoulders right now. Because he is the only, or Facebook is the only big tech company that has reported horrible earnings. And it's just not good. And Facebook is down 26%. In fact, this is the largest drop in terms of market share, in terms of value drop ever in the history of the stock market. And that's because Facebook was a $1 trillion company. A $1 trillion company should not be falling 26% in a day. It's unheard of, right? But because of the situation we are in right now, with the traders being very decisive in terms of the things that they want to sell off, this is what it has come down to. Okay, so Facebook is pulling the entire market down. Unfortunately, we had a pretty good streak. Microsoft reported great earnings. Apple reported spectacular earnings. And unfortunately, Facebook just kind of ruined the party. Now, today, we have Amazon reporting earnings, but Amazon stock is looking pretty weak also. And in fact, today it's selling off too. So people are probably anticipating that their numbers are going to be worse because of supply chain issues and labor issue, which is very intensive for Amazon because of all the deliveries, right? But we'll see. But this is obviously the big story of the day, and it's not good. And obviously how this affects crypto is the fact that, because Meta, which is an entire company, is focused on going into metaverse. They were focused more on crypto with their Dem and Libra, and I have a few things to talk about that in a second. But right now, their pure focus is on the metaverse. And the fact that this metaverse play is causing them to lose $10 billion within a year, it's not a good thing. Facebook right now is in a conundrum because they don't know how to grow. All other platforms, all other big tech seems to know how to grow. For example, Microsoft. Microsoft is going all in on cloud, right? So they're buying other companies, obviously buying Activision because the Xbox division now is so big and making a lot of money, but they've grown their cloud division by leaps and bounds. Azure is growing. Office 365 is growing, right? They made some big acquisitions before even purchasing Minecraft and LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a big purchase. Microsoft is growing by leaps and bounds. Apple is still growing, surprisingly. I kind of figured Apple's growth would stall, but iPhone sales are still through the roof. iOS apps Purchases continue to go up. Apple TV starting to make a dent in their bottom line, and iMacs are doing well. I think the only division that didn't do well for Apple is iPads, but they're growing, okay, and they're still growing. And Facebook on the other hand, oh, and I forgot Google. Google reports spectacular earnings too, and Google is still growing because they're cloud and because searches and advertisers are still, creating a lot of ads. So Google is also doing very good. But Facebook, on the other hand, they don't know how to grow because for the past decade, if you haven't figured out, Facebook's model is to buy out everything else that's out there, right? Because they have more than enough money. They try to make acquisitions. And the last big one, of course, is Instagram. And that turned out to be a terrific move because had they not bought Instagram, I think Instagram would be a powerhouse and Facebook would be probably half the market cap they are now. But, they try to buy Twitter once upon a time, failed. Tried to buy Snapchat, failed. They did buy WhatsApp, but they try to buy, I don't know if they try to buy TikTok, but obviously there's a lot of social platforms out there, and Facebook is in that conundrum. So right now, they're concentrating on Metaverse, but they're failing miserably. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening, right? And this is not good for Bitcoin and crypto because if Facebook is failing on the Metaverse, what can anyone else do, right? That's the question that people have. Well, luckily, the world is not just dependent on Facebook. Microsoft, Satya Nadella, is saying that the Metaverse is the next wave of the internet. And this is the comparison I've been making, Web 1.0, Web 3.0. And he believes that Web 3.0 will be driven by the Metaverse, and it's just very early. And even Tim Cook says the same thing. I see a lot of potential in the Metaverse. So luckily, Metaverse is not just dependent on Facebook, okay? We got a lot of big tech companies, and outside the big tech companies, for those of us that are looking to get away from big tech, well, we do have a lot of decentralized companies that's also in this space, right? So yeah, it's a growing field. It's a growing, what do you say, field? Just a growing overall ecosystem. Man, my nose is so itchy. It's just, I don't know why. All right. Now, why Bitcoin holding is also impressive is not just due to Facebook. PayPal got slaughtered yesterday. PayPal went down 25% and it's down 5% today. So do the math, right? That's more than 30% within 2 days. And PayPal, of course, is very invested in Bitcoin. So that's not a good look either. Square, which is now Block, is down 10%. That's not good, right? So you could see that there is an onslaught of sell-offs of Bitcoin-related or crypto-related companies right now. So that is why Bitcoin actually holding at this point is actually quite impressive. It's actually really impressive if you think about it. You would figure that there would be a bigger sell-off for Bitcoin. So the good news about that is, and this is something I speculated, one of the ways that the Bitcoin market can go up is once the Wall Street traders are done, they may have sold off their ETFs, they sold off their futures, they sold off their physical Bitcoin, the ones that are just trying to trade. You know what? Maybe they're done. They're gone. And this is the reason why we're seeing Bitcoin kind of hold where it is. Of course, it hasn't gone up yet, I know that, but it hasn't gone down more either. So it could be a very good sign that we could see a reversal because all these guys are already out, right? So today is actually quite a surprise. Quite a surprise. Now, someone like Microstrategy is actually up, which is also a surprise because Microstrategy has been hammered by Wall Street for obvious reasons because they don't like how Microstrategy owns like $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? They don't like that. It's a new playbook. They haven't seen it before. So, and this is more surprising because MicroStrategy just announced that they lost $146 million due to Bitcoin impairment charges. So that's the thing. They are overall up on their total holdings, but any little amount that dropped below their purchase price, they have to report as a loss. That's the unfortunate thing. But still, impressive that MicroStrategy had some bad news, bad quarterly, and today is actually up, not down like 10% like the other guys, right? So that's pretty impressive. Now, speaking of Facebook and MicroStrategy, right? Michael Saylor, of course, chimed in and said that Meta should have stayed in the crypto space longer. It turns out that, Dem, this stable coin / crypto project from Facebook, well, they gave up on it when Dave Marcus left, or they fired him, one of the two, and they sold off the assets to Silvergate Capital for $182 million. But I bet you Facebook spent billions on it, billions upon billions, and they got pennies on the dollar for it. So both Michael Saylor and Jack Dorsey both made a comment, had they just stuck with Bitcoin and built a really nice wallet, or built a layer 2, or built something around Facebook, they would not be in the situation they are in now. And I tend to agree. I mean, the regulators were okay with Bitcoin. They even said that. They even asked Mark, why are you not just concentrating on Bitcoin? Why are you concentrating on your own? That's the problem. No one wants to see Facebook have their own coin, right? No one wants to see that. So, all this could have been avoided if they just stuck with Bitcoin. My mining profitability dropped 90% because so many new miners jump on a network during this dip. This is bullish. Yeah, that is something I do want to bring up. So with all that said, it's actually quite impressive that Bitcoin is holding, right? The entire market cap is somewhat holding. Bitcoin dominance dropped a little bit. It's 41.6%. But if you look at something like this, which is Coin360's heat map of the entire market, it's pretty red today. It's pretty red, right? But it's still impressive that Bitcoin didn't go down even more because of all the bad news that we're having. Now, with that said, will Bitcoin, hey, look, it's turning green. It's good. We want to see it turn green, although this didn't turn green. Okay, so with that said, it's just, is this over? Can Bitcoin actually hold, right? Because there are so many that are down and feeling depressed and wondering if Bitcoin will ever come alive again. Can it actually come alive and break through this boring period? And more importantly, can it hold, or is it going to go down more? Well, I just said it is looking more promising now because it's starting to decouple away from some of these companies that are Bitcoin related and decoupling away from NASDAQ. So that's a very positive sign, first of all, right? And there's other good things, of course. I think people missed this. This is actually a very, very, very big news for Bitcoin. I'm surprised more people are not talking about this. Because one of the main problems that's holding Bitcoin back right now from being a currency is the fact that you have to pay. You have to pay taxes, right? For any small amount. Any transactions is counted as a taxable event. Even if you buy Bitcoin and you use it to buy coffee with at Starbucks, that's a taxable event. Okay, so that's the problem. But there is a new bipartisan bill that would exempt Bitcoin transactions from tax obligations if the associated capital gains are $200 or less. Which means if this gets passed, you can now spend Bitcoin at Starbucks or at a store, restaurants, wherever, and you don't have to worry about taxes. That is absolutely huge. So I'm actually surprised more people are not talking about this. This is one of those regulations that's actually very positive for Bitcoin, right? So this is one of the things that can drive Bitcoin higher and make it actually a usable daily currency, of course, with the help of something like Lightning Network. And speaking of Lightning Network, according to On-Chain College and his graph, the Lightning Network is still improving by leaps and bounds. The growth has slowed down a little bit, but it is still growing and growing and growing. So when you utilize the Lightning Network to pay for things very cheaply, very fast, and you don't have to worry about taxes, well, the two combinations are fantastic. Very, very, very good. So we got that to look forward to. Also, This is actually looking at the dollar, the strength of the dollar versus Bitcoin. And you can see how there's been periods where if the dollar goes down, Bitcoin goes up. Or the vice versa, where if the dollar goes up, Bitcoin goes down, right? And right now, this is making a correlation that even though the dollar has been coming up, it's starting to get weak again, right? And if that's the case, and it starts trending down more, can that help Bitcoin come back up? Certainly. Certainly that could help. So that's another thing to look forward to. This is looking at the transfer volume. I've never seen this metric before, but this is actually making the case that Bitcoin formed that new high at 69,000 when it was in a bear trend, in a bearish period, which I would argue we are in right now, a bearish trend, right? But this is measuring high relative volume, low relative volume, so that equates to bullish or bearish periods. And when we hit 69,000, we're actually in a bearish period, and we never got out of there. But imagine if we formed that high in a bearish period, how high will it get in a bullish period? Let's just put it that way, right? So that's pretty interesting. Transfer volume ratio. I've never seen this metric before, but pretty interesting. And of course, you have the third largest Bitcoin whale that continues to keep buying more and more and more and more and more and more and more Bitcoin. He or she has more Bitcoins than Michael Saylor. So quite a lot. Quite a lot of Bitcoins, keeps adding and adding and adding. You see there's no red. He or she is not selling. Just keep accumulating, 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 accumulating. And that is the name of the game, is to accumulate, to buy when others are fearful, to buy when things are down, right? Or just simply DCA over long haul. That's how you win at the game of crypto. All right. Whew. That's a lot. A lot that I said. All right, last few things, just a few other things I got to mention. This was brought up this morning that I wasn't quite familiar with, but GameStop is now using Immutable X for the new NFT marketplace. This has been speculated, and Immutable X is skyrocketing right now. What this isn't good for is Loopring, because it was announced before that Loopring had a connection with GameStop. So now, basically, Loopring lost the NFT marketplace to Immutable X. And I don't know. I still think this is overblown. Like, GameStop is not like it's not like an Amazon. Okay, so what if they come out their NFT marketplace? But I guess a lot of people want to ape into something, right? But according to this, even though they're not going to help with that NFT marketplace, there is still some kind of relationship between Loopring and GameStop. We just don't know what that is yet. We have to figure it out. But there's still some kind of relationship. But ultimately, the true winner in this case is Immutable X, which now is go get an NFT marketplace. So good for them. Good for them. John Lennon, or John Legend, not Lennon, John Legend, is launching a new music and art NFT platform that won't require users to have a crypto wallet. That's interesting. So it's going to be a platform where you actually just store everything on the platform, which for some diehard, decentralization maxis, they probably won't like that. But again, shows you that the NFT space and metaverse space is still growing, and this is helping bring a lot of people in. Right now, meme coins are not bringing new people into space. NFTs are, and NFT collections are just still exploding by leaps and bounds. So pretty good. And lastly, of course, I do have my I Am George number 15 NFT on auction right now. So if you guys are interested, check it out. There's only a few days left. This is a very special one, and I will be giving all NFT holders exclusive benefits. So there is going to be a use case for these, just to let you guys know. All right, guys, that's it. Now let's do some Q&A. Grandpa Barney asks, what are your thoughts on Fed low-key working with BlackRock? BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world, so they work probably with everyone. I don't know how I feel about BlackRock. They were one of the ones that spread that ESG FUD earlier about Bitcoin and kind of forcing Tesla to do what they did. I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure that BlackRock has their their ties run deep with everyone. I don't know the exact connection, but I know that they have a connection, that's for sure. People are speculating why my nose is itchy. Paul, I appreciate that. Telos is performing in this down market. I want to see if you tested their DeFi EVM. No, they have a native DEX now, and people are getting to see how much better Telos EVM is. I know they are doing really well right now, but I'm cautious of anything that pumps up that much that fast. I have not tried their DeFi on their EVM, but I will. I will. No one buys crypto to use a spendable daily utility. Everyone buys crypto to get rich. I'll agree with you. Everyone gets into crypto because they want to make money, right? But once you've made that money, that's where you want to spend it. Like for me, I don't want to convert my crypto into dollars to spend. I'd rather just be able to spend the crypto if I had to. I'm not going to spend it for coffee or restaurants, but I'm going to spend it for nice things. If I wanted to buy a car, I want to buy a new house, right? I would much rather spend the crypto than converting it to dollars first. So there you go. It does seem like my average number of users have dropped today. I think a lot of people watched my earlier stream and then they decide not to tune in, which is a problem. Axel, you are inspiring. I appreciate that. What do you think about India imposed tax? I talked about that this morning. I'm not quite sure how to take it. I don't know what the regular capital gains tax percentage is. If it's 30%, then it's fine. But if it's higher, then, you know, that's why there's a petition out. I saw there is a petition out to drop it, but I don't know what the regular capital gains tax is. Given that Solana got hacked, well, here's the thing, Blue Collar. Solana didn't get hacked, okay? The project that is the bridge got hacked. So a lot of people are making association with Solana. Obviously, you could see that they sold off a lot today. But they didn't get hacked. But I mentioned this already. And I mentioned this on BitBoy's show where I was just on, right? There's other concerns, like whether or not Solana could keep their network intact because they have been down like 6 times over the last 6 months, which is a lot. Even versus all the other, L1s that really has no downtime, right? So that is a concern. VC holdings are a concern. And of course this hack, which actually equated to Ethereum being stolen, not Solana too. So again, it's not really on Solana at all. But I still believe that with Sam Bankman-Fried, his backing, and the ecosystem still growing, I think Solana is still a good hold. But I'm less enthusiastic about Solana right now at this point versus some of the other L1s that I hold. Any wallet suggestions? With hardware wallet, there's really 2, Treasure and Ledger. And I like Ledger. Ledger Live is a new software that they created a few years ago. But right now, I like mobile wallets a lot because it's just so convenient. You can have a mobile wallet on your phone, arguably just as secure, and it's non-custodial. You get to keep your keys, right? So I like mobile wallets, just really, really simple. But if you want maximum security, and of course you go with the hardware wallet. But then, keep in mind with hardware wallet, mobile wallet, any wallet, right? The seed phrase, the recovery phrase is the most important because if you lose that, someone could use that and recover the account, right? So that's where you have to really protect that. Make sure you hide it well or put it into some safe deposit box or something like that. Thoughts on Shiba Inu getting a fast food market? Again, no one, like someone said before, very little people get into crypto to spend. People getting into Shiba is not looking to spend it at McDonald's. People that get into Doge is not looking to spend it at McDonald's. Okay, so yeah, I don't think it's going to help them. They need to figure out ways to make people hold on to it more, not spend it. And I think that's what they're doing in their metaverse and their DEX and NFTs. They need to concentrate more on those things. Have I bought any land in Sandbox? No. I've been on OpenSea a lot recently, looking at like what should I purchase. I want to get involved with NFTs, right? It's a daunting task to decide which ones is good and which ones will hold, because some start out really, really hot and then they pump up and then all of a sudden they dump down, right? Just like crypto. So, and then I was looking at the big boys like a Bored Ape, which the floor price is like 100 ETH right now. I'm like, man, I don't want to put 100 ETH into a Bored Ape. And then there's like Mutant Ape, which is like floor price of like 20, which is more reasonable, but still that's like $70,000 for a Bored Ape NFT, right? So I started looking at some of the smaller ones, Sandbox Land or Decentraland Land and several of these newer ones that shoot up right away. It's tough. It's tough to decide which NFTs to get into. Now, if you're creating them, it's a different story, but getting involved with all these collections, it's tough. It's like a whole other it's a totally different skill set, I think. It's like me keeping up with all these cryptos, hundreds of cryptos, right? With NFTs, you kind of got to do the same thing. You got to keep up with like the hundreds that's out there, but they drop off really fast and new ones come in and get popular really fast. So it's even a harder thing to do. But yeah, I saw Doodle. There's a few other things. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. What do you about Solana NFTs? I mean, other than a few, they're not. If you look at NFT volume, it's all on Ethereum. Very little volume is on Solana. There's some on Wax, but primarily it's almost every single one is on Ethereum because that's the hot marketplace. Everyone is minting on Ethereum. So right now is like, if you want to make money, you concentrate on Ethereum. That's how it is. Luis says, would you buy Picasso painting? No. Then don't buy NFTs. People are stupid. No, that's really wrong analogy. Once you buy Picasso, you can't do anything with it other than hang it. Okay? And even if you can, if you have the ability to buy Picasso, right? You have way too much money on your hands. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But after you get it, you can't do anything with it. People that hold NFTs, you may think the only thing they could do with it is show it off. But no, there's benefits that come with it. You could be part of a group, part of a Discord, a private Discord, part of a club. You can be invited to events, right? You could be given future airdrop NFTs. There's a lot of things that creators can add on. It's just whether or not they do. Most don't. Most just sell the picture. But like a prime example of this is Bored Ape. Bored Ape holders or airdrop mutant apes, right? And mutant apes are worth tens of thousands of dollars. So people that bought a Bored Ape got a mutant ape for free, and they're worth a ton of money. See, that is something that you can't get by buying a Picasso, but you can do that with NFTs. And holders of NFTs basically can get rewarded for a lifetime. And that's what I plan on doing with the I Am George NFTs. Right, I know that some of you guys know I wanted to hold my conference. I used to call it GeorgeCon. I may call it something else, right? But that is one of the benefits. All I Am George holders will get free access to GeorgeCons for every GeorgeCon I'll ever have in the future, right? So that's a benefit you can't get with anything else. But that's a benefit you'll get by holding one of my NFTs. But, that's just the one example, right? And many other, creators are giving other benefits as well. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Overall, Bitcoin is holding right now. Can it hold? Can it hold its ground, build up from here, and continue higher? The answer is yes. There's actually a lot of reasons why it can, right? And the fact that these stocks, these crypto-related stocks, are selling off so hard, and Bitcoin isn't, that's actually very, very promising. Okay? Stay strong, my friends. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later. My fourth stream, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. As Austin said, I missed a super chat. I don't see it anymore. I'm sorry, Austin. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.